Greetings, Colorado. This is Congressman Sarbanes from Maryland. First of all, let me congratulate you on the All-Star game there in Denver. It's great to have it happening in a place that is dedicated and committed to lifting up our democracy. So, congratulations on that. Also, want to thank you for the All-Star Voting Rights Rally, putting energy behind this effort of ours to get H.R. 1S1, the For the People Act, over the finish line, which we have to do in the coming weeks. It's high stakes. We need to make that happen, and you're joining the chorus on this and keeping the temperature high is absolutely going to make a difference. So thank you for that. As somebody who's been working on the For the People Act for many, many years, intensely over the last two or three, just thought I'd share a few thoughts about how it came together. And basically, this was written by you, by the American people. We listened carefully. Our North Star was to pay attention to the grievances and concerns that so many Americans have, regardless of their political stripe. The fact of the matter is, Democrats, independents, and Republicans all support the For the People Act by broad majorities. And the reason is there's nothing particularly controversial in there. It's all stuff that you've been asking for years. The voting part of the bill, much of which was written by the late, great John Lewis, is just designed to make sure that people can exercise their freedom to vote in terms of being able to register in a convenient way, have various options available to them to actually cast their vote, whether it's early vote or mail-in balloting or election day voting. So that's just about making it so you don't have to run this obstacle course every 2 years to get to the ballot box. It also pushes back, by the way, on this voter suppression effort that we've seen, this stampede of voter suppression across the country in the last 2 or 3 months. So it's very, very important, and it responds directly to concerns that we heard from you and from people across the country. The other thing we heard is that people really hate partisan gerrymandering, this idea that politicians choose their voters instead of the other way around. So a key part of the For the People Act is to address that and make sure we have fair standards in place when it comes to drawing these new districts, which we're doing now because of the census. So that's a very, very important piece. Other things we heard is that when lawmakers go to Washington, the public expects them to act in the public interest, not in their own self-interest, and not on behalf of any special interest. So we've got a whole set of ethical reforms in there, accountability, transparency, which is really, really important to restore confidence. Protecting against foreign actors hacking into our elections or getting on these digital platforms with misinformation is something that people are concerned about. So we put that into the bill to make sure that we can restore confidence there. And lastly, and this is really important, people are so fed up in America with corruption, with the role that big money plays and special interests in our politics, where they always seem to get their way. You know, Wall Street writes tax policy. The gun lobby determines what can happen when it comes to gun safety measures or lack thereof. Big Pharma leans in on prescription drug pricing and stops us from lowering that. And on climate change, the fossil fuel industry ends up calling the shots much of the time. That's because of the influence of money and lobbyists and super PACs in Washington. We need to push back against that. We absolutely do it in the For the People Act, with disclosure and transparency of where that dark money is coming from, fixing the broken Federal Elections Commission so it can be a cop on the beat when those big money actors get out of line, and standing up a new system for funding campaigns in America at the federal level, which allows for the matching of small donations. So everyday Americans' voice is the one that matters, not the megaphone of the big money. And by the way, a system like that also brings a very diverse set of candidates into our politics, which is so important to represent communities across the country. So there it is. That's the essence of the For the People Act. It came from you. You wrote it. We put it together based on what we were hearing from people across the country. Now we got to get it over the finish line. That's the challenge in the coming weeks. If we have to change some rules in the United States Senate, then so be it. But we need the people to keep telling Washington that they want to make sure this happens. So your voice is critical. Please, again, as I said at the beginning, keep the temperature high. Ask others to join in this chorus. We can get it done. John Lewis always said to us, never give up and never give in. Well, we're not going to give in to voter suppression and big money, and we're not going to give up on our democracy. You've gotten us to this point. You're going to get us over the finish line. Thanks for all you do. Let's go win this fight.